Good afternoon, CJ.
Hi, JB. How are you, brother?
Oh, I'm very good, brother. Down in Condobolin at the moment.
Yes, I heard that you were heading down that way. I know you're in New South Wales somewhere. Over the next week.
Yep.
So, Condobolin.
Condobolin, brother, for tonight and a little bit of tomorrow, and then off to Cobar.
Gee, that's a bit west, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a bit west.
Yeah. Cobar, yeah.
And then off to Burke and Brewarrina and Walgett then.
Oh man, you're on the Grey Nomad Trail.
Yeah, something like that, brother.
Yeah. yeah. No, it's it'd be nice and cool out that way. I think it gets pretty cool out there.
Hey, mate, when we got up this morning on the side of the road, it was 0 degrees. So,
mate, it was actually hot up here today.
was it?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, the breeze.
So I missed it.
Half the day, the breeze had stopped, and it was just hot. Like I was sitting out on my little veranda there, and no, it's too hot. I had to get inside.
Serious?
Yeah, my tan. I tan up.
How you getting tanning up there, brother?
Yes.
Hey, listen, brother. Why don't we head off with a acknowledgement to country?
Yes.
You want to do that? And we'll try to work out what's going on here.
Who's that?
You can't have this on while Dad's here.
Off you go, brother. You do the acknowledgement.
Okay. CJ and JB, we're special guest John. And before we start, I'd like to just acknowledge the traditional owners of the countries that we located where we are at the live and side, and also emerging. I've got to say, Yura, which is the word for hello, and from southeast Queensland, that just over near North Kiribati. So I actually got a message from Jan Hogan, believe it or not, about
I've seen that.
Island, and she knows where the Earl of Stradbroke lived, and all about that history. I suppose that was pretty interesting. Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. No, good work, brother. I've got one for you too. Woman Jenka, which means hello and welcome in Wurundjeri language down in Victoria. So.
Say that again.
Woman Jenka.
Woman Jenka.
Yeah.
Jenka. Okay. All right. That's cool. Woman
All
Jenka.
right. Now, just before we introduce our special guest, I don't know if he's there yet, brother, but
Can you see me?
He's there.
We can hear you, brother.
Oh, hang on.
Can't see you there.
We're just technical difficulty.
Just while we're waiting for JD to come in, we've got a few people we need to say hello to. We've got Julie Darby's there. She said, hello, gentlemen. She said, Paul Walker and Joseph Uy are watching you as well. So g'day, Joseph, and g'day, Paul Walker. Paul's one of our previous guests on our check-in, and no doubt we'll be getting Joseph on shortly to have a yarn with us. We've got Malcolm Darling watching in Darwin. G'day, brother Malcolm. We've asked Malcolm on, but he's a little bit shy at the moment, so we'll see about getting Malcolm on as well. Yeah. And we've got Lisa Pullman watching. Hello, Lisa.
Hey, Lisa. Joseph Wooey. Hello, Joseph. Very good. Julie Darby. Hello, gentlemen.
Belinda Sutton. Good afternoon from Brisbane. Good afternoon, Belinda, and thanks for joining us.
Yeah, good on you. I can see the space there, but something's happening with the vision.
He's dropped out, but we'll go on, brother boy.
Yeah, no.
What's been happening with you?
Hey,
I've seen that little combi van getting around.
Yeah, mate. How good is that? I mean, yeah, so happy, to have it back, I suppose. And we've just been down to New South Wales, crossed the border. That was our second little jaunt in it, a little trip. around the place. So I reckon once a week we'll be somewhere on the road, checking it out. Until I get the inside all fitted out, I think we won't be sleeping over. We'll just go for a little cruise here and there, day trips and whatever. So
Now, brother, you'll have to put a couple of photos up on our page to show people the beautiful paint job that's just been finished.
yeah, it's nice, isn't it? How good is
Oh, absolutely sensational, brother.
it? Yeah, I'm frightened to drive.
What year is it? 1973.
1973. It's 1600 motor in it. It was an old, believe it or not, it was an old post office vehicle, Australian Post.
Oh yeah, okay.
There's no red on it anymore. There's just all green, but you can see the red. I'm going to post up a little bit of the the journey, I suppose, in terms of getting it restored, and you'll see a fair bit of red in the paintwork that's underneath it. So yeah. So it's it's back on the road. Like I said, I just got to fit it out. A couple of other little things I need to fix up on it. But the plan is that we're going to be doing some little adventures. I suppose we can't fly out of the country, so we reckon that we'll just jump in the van once a week. Maybe it's on a weekend and do a couple of overnighters here and there around this part of the world. Anyway.
Sounds good, brother. Sounds good. And I must compliment you on the finish of the combi, mate. It looks absolutely beautiful,
mate. Yeah, well, yeah, that's right. I'll have to actually one day I'll go and pick up young Belle in it from the school and see what happens there.
Yeah, she'd like that, eh?
And I'll pick her up one afternoon from school. Give her a lift.
Yeah. CJ has got our daughter Bella onto liking combi vans, and so she's pretty wrapped up at the moment. She's trying to save for one at the moment. So CJ's just offered to pick her up from school one day. So that'll be interesting, CJ.
It will be interesting, yes. But yeah, no, good stuff, mate. Yeah. I don't know how Jono's going. He might be trying to get back on.
Trying to get back in there. Do you want to just say hello to those other people, and I'll just try and let him in, brother?
What you've got? Okay, good stuff. Righto, we've got Belinda. Hello, Belinda Sutton. We've got your dad there. He's also David Eric Sutton. Lisa Bullman. Hello, haha. Tanya Margot from Melbourne.
Hey, Tanya.
How you going? And Libby Harwood. How are you, Libby?
G'day, Lib. How are you?
On the next call, we've got a bit of training. So, how's Jono going? He's trying his best, but he can't get the.
Trying his best to get in. He's not quite making it at the moment. And also, we've got Alice Hugo there. G'day, Alice. How are you, darling? Down in Warrnambool, down that way.
Yeah. So it won't let me in. It won't let me put my camera on. I'll ask him whether he's on phone, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, brother. We're just we're down at Condobolin at the moment, down in New South Wales. So, sorry, people, we're having a bit of a technical difficulty here at the moment.
We're probably too far apart from each other.
Yeah. So we've got CJ on the Gold Coast. I'm down in Condobolin at the moment, and I think JD's up at Mount Isa, isn't he?
That's right. He's up at the mighty Mount Isa.
So
he's just getting back.
So Lisa and I are just down here at Condobolin for tonight and tomorrow morning and afternoon. Then we're on to Cobar, CJ. So Cobar and then Brewarrina and Burke and Walgett. So we've got a few places to do some work in over the next few days. So we're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But
tell us,
CJ, it's bloody cold down there.
So what? Give us a bit of a perspective, mate. Between those towns, how far is it in kilometres on average?
Already, I think, CJ, we've covered over, I think it's about 1,280 Ks down here. And over the next few days and before we get home, it'll be up to about 3.5, I think. So by the weekend.
Wow. By the time you get back, so what's that? How many days?
We'll come back Friday. So
Righty, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's,
We just thought, and what we thought, CJ, was that it'd be the best way to do it. You know, we come down and do some work down here with a suicide prevention trial program, doing some focus groups and some yarning circles and some interviews with people about how that's been for them. Not just community, but service providers as well, and working with the PHN. So instead of flying down to Sydney and then flying back up to Dubbo, we thought we'd just cut out the middleman, brother, and drive down here and do it that way.
Mate, are you able to, you know how you got me in, can you do the same for John?
He's up there on the screen, brother. That's I can't see, like, all I can. It's coming back in now, but there's no camera there, brother. So
on his mobile, mate. So he's on his computer at the moment. He said he'll come on his phone.
All right, cool. Yeah. Again, our apologies, everyone. Again, some difficulties, but we've got a couple more guest people there. We've got Mim Cole up in Darwin watching.
Hey, Mim.
G'day, Mim. How are you? How's brother boy David? We've got Jan Hogan there. Here he is.
You're on, mate. Got you, man.
We got him. Hey,
Sorry,
brother.
That's all right. Are you on your mobile, are you?
Yeah, on the mobile now.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I could see when you were showing me that photo there, you were actually on. You could see yourself, couldn't you?
Yeah, I could see myself, but I couldn't. You just couldn't see me.
No. It's all blue, brother. Anyway, welcome, brother. Please.
No, thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So we'll kick straight into it, brother. Tell us a little bit about your backstory and a little bit about what you've been up
to. I'm from Rockhampton. I always wanted to play rugby league, so I, did everything I could to try and make that dream come true. And I was lucky enough to get it at the Cowboys. I started the Cowboys. I then retired through injuries and so on, and got coaxed back into it by the great Artie Beetson. Artie Beetson actually seen my dad in Rockhampton and was asking what I was doing, and then told me he wanted me to come back. And so they rang up and we spoke to Ricky Stewart, and then ended up going back there, and then retired again. And in between the two retirements, I ended up coming to Mount Isa, and that's where I met my beautiful wife. And so we've been together ever since, and we've been in and out of Mount Isa for a few times. Mount Isa is a beautiful place, and it's a good place to bring kids up. It's a good little community-minded. It's friendly, so we've always come back here. Doesn't matter if we've gone into other things, we always end up coming back to the Isa. And now I'm doing my passion, that's trying to get people fit and healthy, especially my people, trying to get our people fit and healthy and living good lives. And I've got my own business now, Three Sons Fitness. We give up the clothes shop, Charlie.
Oh, have you?
Yeah. So we're just doing it got a bit too hectic. We're doing, I'd get up at 4:30, leave home at 10 to 5, and then I wouldn't get home till like 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So it was a bit too hectic, yeah. So we ended up just doing the fitness because it was a lot better. The more we put into this, the more return we got, just from clientele, financially, more family time, all that sort of stuff. So this was the way to go for me. It's what I've always wanted to do anyway. So, yeah.
Thanks, JD. It also tell you stuff still from home, right? Especially clothes and stuff. If you still got that coming in, people were they were pretty good. Paralysed. You're doing quite good in that centre.
Hey, CJ, you're just breaking up there a little bit, brother.
Right?
Yeah, cutting out a bit, yeah.
We're having a few difficulties tonight.
Hold on a minute.
Hey, again.
You guys, I'm going to go out.
All right, you go out, brother. All right, brother. So tell us a little bit about your fitness business that you got going.
Yeah, I've got a few avenues and a few different parts to it, a few aspects. So obviously I do the boot camp stuff. So I do, well, we used to do 12-week challenges, but we dropped that down just to 8-week.
Yep.
But people can join anytime they want. So we do 8-week challenges. That's one aspect of it. But we also do, I've got an elite athletes performance program.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
with that, I get 10 young athletes so that I can really concentrate on each one and their specific sports. So I've got motocross riders, BMX riders, footballers, soccer players, gymnastics, netballers. So I've even got two stick fighters. They do sticker run. And so I do pretty much all the strength and conditioning and all their biomechanics and their fast twitch fibers and explosive speed and power, and just to give that edge and get those next levels. But I also do a program called Battle One, which is sort of a free one volunteer we do. I've been trying to do it for, I think, Charlie, I told you about 6 years ago now I started trying to do it. And so we get kids in and we just try to empower them with being confident and comfortable within themselves and give them an environment where it's inclusive, there's no judgment. So when they come into my gym, I always tell everyone, doesn't matter if it's boot camps, athletes, Battle One, that when they walk through the doors, they don't just walk into a gym, they walk into a family. And that's sort of how we operate, and that's how we try to break that gap between like different races, ethnicities, demographics, genders, ages, everything, all those social stereotypes like your so-called jocks, your so-called nerds and so on, outcasts. So we bring them all together, and you wouldn't even be able to pick who's who in the crowd because they all get on so well. Like you swear that they're all best mates. And then and then outside of that now, so when they see each other outside, a lot of these kids probably wouldn't bat an eyelid at each other beforehand, but now they're outside doing the Battle One handshake, and a lot of their other friends, they're all like, "Hey, what's up? What are you doing there?" And so they've got that inclusiveness to something, and through that program and the elite athlete program, I got 3 kids signed up in the Black Hawk system to get into the Cowboys, and I've since just had offers for them to go to the Capras now. So we've got to weigh that up and weigh the best option up for them. I've also had a young girl go onto pre-med and everything, uni in Townsville.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, had a kid that had behaviour issues from behaviour cards and all that sort of stuff to trouble to come top 2% NAPLAN in her reading and writing in Australia.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've got jobs for various kids. Or one of the athletes I've got in my it's a traineeship with the overall approach being he owns his own business. So we got him a traineeship and he's learning how to do maintenance work just around the yard, some concreting, some diesel fittings, just everything holistically, and get him an ABN so he can have his own business. And then I got 2 other kids. Yeah, I got 2 other kids' jobs at the pizza shop. So we just
I love that.
I'm just trying to help out everywhere I can, as much as I can. And we've also just got this other program called with ATODs, alcohol, substance abuse, drugs and that sort of stuff. So just trying to, like I said, empower our people and even anyone that's generally struggling with self-confidence and things like that as well. So that's pretty much what we've got at the moment. We've got a few other things in the pipeline coming, so busy.
Yeah. JD.
Yeah, you're probably feeling a bit of a void there because a void for years, really. But that stuff, those elite athletes. Yes, you lived out there years ago. You would never have an opportunity to actually, get involved in something that can become regional, but also statewide and national. So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So now we've got links. Just through my footy background and the people that I know. So now we've got links to Melbourne Storm, Sunshine Coast Falcons, the Bulldogs, Cowboys, and obviously all the clubs that go with them, the Black Hawks and Cutters and things like that, the Capras, Bronx. Plus we've got a link to the Australian Rugby Union as well. So I'm trying to work on getting soccer and netball and basketball and different things like that as well, and also the MMA stuff, just so there's a wide range of I suppose, opportunities and pathways. So it's not limited, but it also gives these kids, there's so much talent out here and it's like when you go to remote areas and stuff like that, there's an abundance of talent, but there's just no avenue for these kids to actually, no pathway for them. So I'm creating that pathway and trying to make this like a proper performance institute, where we can really enhance their skills and their abilities and move them on to the next thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Fantastic.
Now, JD, I just wanted to ask you about what you were saying before about, like the handshake that you've got developed for your program and the gym and that sort of stuff. It just gives those lads and girls, if it's for girls as well, that little bit of ownership that they're able to say, I'm part of that. So they start to believe in themselves, don't they?
Yeah, 100%. And you know what, like, when you see these kids when they first came in, like, and the secret to it is what I've been trying to tell a lot of organisations around town and everywhere else that I've been is sustainability and longevity. So the problem is there's too many programs where it's come in for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, see you later and get a whole new crop. Well, a lot of these kids that I'm working with within those the Battle One and some of the elite athletes, I've been working with them for 12 to 18 months. So I've got a good relationship and they've got good support in me, my family, and because my kids and my wife come in here all the time, so and the way I do it, I do like a crossover effect so that some of the Battle One kids, they get to see family dynamics when the challenge members come in, because we're a family-friendly operation where mothers and fathers can bring their kids in, and they can have a play, because I encourage it so the kids can actually get involved. And it's really good when you see, like, anything from 3 to 12 to 15-year-olds joining in with their mum and dad, tossing tyres, throwing ropes around, and it's unreal. So for me, when a lot of these kids get to see what that family dynamic should and could look like, so it makes them understand if at home's, it needs to be rectified, or if what's happening outside of here is good or not. I suppose it probably sounds a bit harsh, but at least they get an understanding of what a family dynamic should and could look like. So then that way it helps them to, when they go on to have their own families or even with other people's families and things like that, know how to socially interact. So it's really good. Like, I love it. Like, the kids in here, like, they see my kids, they play with my kids. My kids, they won't listen to me, but they'll listen to my football boys. I'll listen to the athletes. The athletes will tell them what to do, and they do it. Dad tells them, whatever,
Yeah.
So it's good. They're helping me parent. So.
Yeah, that's right, brother. That's right. Yeah. Now, tell us a little bit about has COVID-19 impacted on your work, and if so, how?
Yeah, well, when it first came about, people knew things were coming, but for us, it was just, I think it was like 10 o'clock at night, a Facebook alert on a Sunday night, gyms have to be shut by 12 o'clock tomorrow. So that's as much notice as we got, like 14 hours notice. And I still had 2 weeks left to go of my challenge, still had a week to go of my athlete challenge, and then I was still running the Battle One and just started doing the ATOD stuff. So it was daunting at first, but the best thing about the building owner said we didn't have to pay rent through that time, which was great. If we had to pay rent, we pretty much would have went under and we would have lost the business and all that. So by him just making that little rectifying that little financial thing for us, kept us alive. So what I did was I just rented gear out. I did online programs. I wrote programs every week for people and just made ends meet by that. And then we never really got we got the JobKeeper, but we haven't got anything else except for JobKeeper. And then we opened back up on a slower rate. I didn't want to just open up as soon as we got the okay to open up. I didn't want to open up straight away just because I was worried about it flipping back on us again and the whole stop-start, herky-jerky. So I waited till we had the 20 people inside. So we opened up the 20 people inside and we're back to running, and it's good now. We've got 20 per class, some it might be 10, 5, 15, 20. So it varies through their times and that, but we're getting back into it now, and yeah, so we've got one more week to go, 2 weeks off, and then back into 8 weeks, and we should be full steam ahead then.
Yeah.
Good work. Good work.
Do you think, John? Do you think that I know that a lot of businesses and a lot of sports that they let you have for free until everything sort of settled down, but all the good things you're doing there, I suppose, all the good things you're achieving in terms of making change and providing an outlet for these young people, would have been lost, I suppose, if so. It wasn't. I don't know. Do you have a feeling that what you're doing? Thought, well, we better not let this bloke go under because he's making a big difference in the community.
Yeah, well, I mean, me and my wife talked about it numerous times, like, because I said I've been doing this, when I first started doing this officially out here, I was, I looked like a big weirdo because I was actually driving around in my car and just yelling at the kids and then pulling up the kids and saying, "Oh, you want to do some training? I'm trying to get a performance institute. Come down to the park and train," and just putting kids in my car and taking them to the park and the school, and I'd have all this gear set up. So a lot of work and time and that went into it, and I really didn't want to lose it, and I was adamant that I wasn't going to lose it. And the best thing was, like I said, our building owner was so gracious in letting us have that rent-free period. And I mean, if I was still always said to myself, even if it folded and we couldn't do it here, I'd get a job and then work my way back to trying to do it again, because I really love helping these kids. And a lot of people say, "Why are you so passionate about it?" And I always tell them, well, any one of those kids could be my kids. I've got 3 young sons, and I've got a million nephews and nieces and all that sort of stuff. So any one of those kids could be mine. So if I don't help put a safety net in place so that any one of our kids, when they fall through, if they fall through a crack in the system, there's no net there to catch them, then I just wouldn't feel like I've accomplished what I want to do. I wouldn't feel like I've done my job. What I've been put here for, I suppose. Because I've been doing it since I was younger. I've always been helping people, even when I was like in high school. I remember grade 12 being the grade 8's coach for the footy team. So I've always been in that leadership role and trying to help people achieve bigger and better things. So I love doing it. I would have found my way back if we had lost it, but yeah.
I was going to ask you that question about how you fell into this, or how did you how did the journey happen? But you've answered that already. But yeah, so you've been doing it all the time. So
yeah, and the thing was too is what it's like with especially with black fellas, doesn't matter if we're in work or if we're in footy or sports or anything. Whenever anyone else comes along, we sort of gravitate. You know what I mean? So when we used to play footy, when I went to the Cowboys, even though I was first got there, once I got comfortable, and then any other young Murray fellas that turn up there would always sort of, me and a few other lads would get them under our wings and sort of help bring them along and make them feel comfortable. And because I know that's sort of what happened to me. I had my grandfather there, and so I had that little bit of comfort zone at home, but some of these kids don't have it. So we took that responsibility upon ourselves, and we brought a lot of the Aboriginal and Islander kids through and helped them out. Matty Bowen was one of them. Funnily enough, he's now my brother-in-law, married to my sister. So that one worked out. That one worked out a bit too well, but but you know what I mean. So we always gravitate towards each other, and even in the workplace, I've been in and out of the mining sector for 14 years. Previous to this job, me business now. And as soon as somebody comes in, it doesn't matter where they come from. If you can see they're uncomfortable, we always just take them under our wings and make them feel comfortable, help them out. And when people are having issues at home or outside, and you just ask them, it's, everything all right? And they might not tell you straight away, but eventually they will. Once you earn their trust, eventually they'll tell you. And at least then they've got somebody in ear to talk to, and a shoulder to cry on. So I've been doing it for a long time, and it just sort of comes natural now. My wife says I'm like a magnet for people. So yeah.
That's beautiful, brother. Well done.
Yeah.
It certainly is needed, isn't it? So
definitely, yeah.
And
I can it's comfortable gym now. You know what I mean? So you make feel it, bring them into the fold, sort of thing. And it's also, you listening to you there. I know that AB commented on this as well. It's kind of like how to belong, hardest thing. You know what I mean? And that's
exactly.
we're out in the community. they
Yeah.
know when they're part of that group, you know.
Yeah, and too many times outside of, like, for me, and I've experienced it, seen it, and stuff like that. Too many times outside of like your own safety net, like home, there's too many different divisions
Yeah,
in society in the world. So like even at the Cowboys, you know, when I was there, like at school, we had the footballers, then we had the black footballers, the white footballers, then we had the basketballers, then we had the outcasts, the smokers, the jocks, the the nerds, and for me, it's, yeah, all that stuff's silly. I mean, we're all one, and you need to find a common ground. And I know for me, being in the gym, so what I've done is I've used the way I felt on a footy field. So I always tell a story now where, for me, being lighter skin than most, I never fitted in with my own people. But then I was too dark for the white people as well. So I was always in the middle. So for me, sometimes, like, I'd get snarled at or dirty looks from both sides. But on a footy field, because I'd win the game for our team and things like that, it was good coming off the field and seeing those same people, those parents, and that smile and patting me on the back. And then I found through being in the gym and working through Education Queensland and stuff like that I've done in the past, that being in this environment, there's no one person better than the other. We're all on the same fitness journey. And everyone in here is like-minded, trying to improve themselves. So in here, there's no judgment, and we try to fizzle out any judgmental people anyway, and then they come back eventually and have a better mindset. But there's no better place than a gym, to feel welcome and to feel part of something.
Yeah, and you can work off all that tension as well. You know what I mean? At the same time.
Exactly, and like always, my wife calls me the inappropriate PT, but I'm always talking rubbish and having a laugh and trying to make the sessions as fun as I can, because I always tell people we have fun, or we work hard while we're doing it. So I might say when they're slamming the slam balls down to the ground, I might say to the women, just pretend your husband's going on another fishing camp this weekend, throw him into the ground and take him out of the ball, so things like that, and they have a laugh and they slam the ball around, and so it's like you said, you take some of that pent up adrenaline and stuff. Some of these kids, especially with the way our schools are going now, it's bums on seats, sit down. You're not allowed to play. You're not allowed to do this. Put your hand up. So they're not getting enough activity at school. You used to remember when you were at school, you get to school early so that you could play footy for an hour before you had to go to school. When you get to class. Yeah, and then you'd be rushing out at lunchtime and try and get out there and be one of the first ones on the field, and they can't do that anymore. And I know that's the way they're going and all that, but if these kids can come in here and we can work them out and work them hard and get a lot of adrenaline and stuff out and that pent up energy and get all the endorphins and that coursing through the body and lower their cortisol, stress hormones and things like that, then they're happy and they're better at home. We've actually got 2 kids that get released from school to come to do my program at 10:30 during the day, because it helps them. It helps them with their behaviour at home and at school. And the school, and they're from 2 different high schools, and they're more than happy to come on board and let them come away from their schooling so that they can do this program and go back to school and be better and happier and healthier and things like that. So it works, and I know it works because it worked for me as well.
Yeah. Oh.
I think that's fantastic, brother. I mean, you need to be congratulated on that, and getting those kids that need it involved is something really special. You need to give your gym name a bit of a plug here, and so we can promote it for you as well.
Yeah, well, it's Three Sons Fitness, and I name it Three Sons because I've got 3 boys.
Yeah.
So 3 sons. That's why I tell people, like, when we get photos under the banners and stuff, they're like, "Oh, you're always trying to promote." And I'm like, no. What it is the 3SF and the symbol. It stands for my family. And I tell them, and I tell every class, athletes, ATODs, Battle One, the challenge people, when we get a photo under that, it means we're family. So now you're part of my family. That symbolises my family, my boys, my wife and everything, and now you're a part of it, so that's why we do it.
That's beautiful, bro. Beautiful. Yeah. Now we've got a couple more people we need just to quickly say good day to. We've got Nancy Jeffrey watching. Nancy's in Darwin. G'day, Nance. David Eric Sutton said, good place out bush, JB. So, yeah, no, it is David, for sure. We've got Arnie Fran White. She said, hello, everyone. All around the place. Yeah, Johnny Willis watching. I think John's in Brisbane.
Yeah.
Peter and Stan in Goondiwindi watching. Leanne Land watching down in Melbourne. G'day, Leanne. Paul McNeil watching down in Melbourne as well. G'day, Paul. Rachel Jane in Melbourne watching as well. Then we've got Patrick Wayne watching. Patrick's in Townsville. G'day, brother. And he said, hello, you fellas. And then we've got Christine Butler tuning in from Catherine. G'day, Christine. And Paul, her husband, was one of our previous guests on here as well. And then we've got Chrissy Lee down in Canberra saying, hello, fellas. A bit late, but he's on. So welcome to everyone, and thanks for joining us. And we've got a very special guest, Johnny Doyle, tonight. So we just listened to a bit of his journey. So thank you again, brother. Tell us a little bit more about what's happening.
Yeah. He's right, Johnny.
Yeah, you're up. Yeah.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, no, I mean, I've been up to Mount Isa a few times, brother. And it's really important what we're doing at the moment. I know that for sure. These kids, they going to get there at the local AMS, or you get them up there to do that. Take off like that.
There's a few different things around town that going on, but I mean, I suppose there's a few roadblocks. Some at some organisations and some people and that, but I just keep doing my thing, and I'm at a point where I just rely on myself and what myself and other people that work around me can bring to the table. So we just try to keep keep the kids active, keep them positive, and keep the word out, and trying to get them to come into the gym and try and create a better lifestyle.
Yeah. Now tell me, mate. You told me once before that you used to keep snakes at your place. Still doing that?
I am. I haven't had in there for a couple of weeks, but I'm into the fish now.
Are you?
Yeah, so I find it calming, for me to fish in the fish tank. It's really calming. So I'm always going down to the pet store and the nursery and that, and seeing what new fish they've got. I've got 4 ponds now, a tank outside, 2 tanks outside, and 3 inside. So, so instead of being filled up with snakes and lizards, they're filled up with fish now.
Yeah, brother, I do have to ask you, what sort of snakes did you have? And what are the best ones to have for pets? Because our 15-year-old daughter has been talking about getting a pet snake. So.
Look, I've had black-headed pythons, jungle carpets, Stimson's pythons, children's pythons. I've even, on occasion, had the odd venomous one in a tank before, but not just because it was, cruising through someone's yard. So I've gone to get it, put it home to have a look at it, and then go and let it go. But your children's pythons and your Stimson's pythons, they're the smaller ones, and they're more friendlier. But the only problem with those is sometimes they get a little bit snappy. They don't get big enough to hurt you or bite you. But I've always found blackhead pythons probably the best ones. Once you, even olive pythons, I've had olive pythons and that as well. And I've even caught like 11 and 12 foot olive pythons and at the river and stuff. And once you get a hold of them, most of them they'll strike at you as defence, like get away from me, because all they want to do is take off. But once you get a hold of them, you can sort of just play with them and have them around you and like massive big snakes. I've got photos of me with heaps of like huge snakes, and they just crawling around me and stuff like that. And it's about how you are. Like if you're real jerky and that fast movement, puts them off, because you can imagine they see heat vision like the old predator, so they sort of see like that. So if you see a big orange blur coming for you, you're going to get a fright, aren't you? So that's what they see, and also what they smell and stuff like that. So when they take in the pheromones and work out if you're predator, prey, and things like that. So you take all those things into consideration. You be really slow and gentle, and you have no dramas at all. Yeah,
Well,
that's my theory, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, that's good, brother. But I just got a comment off my beautiful wife. She said we are not getting a snake.
Honestly, if you want a good snake, get a file snake. It's a water snake, and it's the most docile, friendliest snake. It's what our people used to eat way back in the day. You'd see photos of the old ladies biting their heads off.
Yeah,
It's the most. Oh, I've taken them. My sons have caught them and showed them, and they've let them swim down the river and swimming beside them. Pick them up before they go too far. Walk back up, put them back in again, and swim with them. And yeah, they're the doughiest snake in the world.
Now, Lisa just said to you, John. She said, "No deal, John."
Fair enough. Well, you'll have to come up here and I'll show you some.
Yeah, that's it. We might be up there too. And Patrick Wayne said, "Good go, lol."
It's funny, Like I always say to people, I don't know why blackfellas are scared of them because, I used to eat them and live with them. And now there's that many are scared of them, Like iguanas, lizards, snakes, geckos.
Frogs.
Well, you got to laugh anyway, because she's just everyone's laughing there. Look, Tony Magray's laughing at Lisa, and Christine Butler said, "Still eat fire snake up here." Yeah, mate.
There you go. See?
Yeah.
Actually, funny story. I caught one out at Burketown, and one of the elders out there, he said, I'll just hold it for you overnight. And I said, yeah, because I don't take it home, And I went back the next morning to pick it up. And I said, hey, that snake's not in the tub. Oh, it must have got out.
Yeah.
Straight down your belly. That's where it got out.
That's it.
Hey, listen, I'm going to have to duck off. I've got clients out here waiting for me. Is that okay?
Yeah. Bring your clients on, brother.
Yeah. They'd probably rather be in here than being out there me flogging them.
I reckon they will. They would too, brother. Anyway, John, thanks for coming on, brother.
My pleasure.
An absolute privilege. We'll put your name of your gym up on our page here, and look, all the best. And as I said, thanks so much for coming on.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, good to see you again, mate. And
you too, bro.
what you're doing up there is important, brother. And I know that there's probably a number of people who will be interested in what you're doing because, just about every community needs a John Doyle in it, doing some stuff like you're doing, mate. So thanks very much.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it, honestly. And thanks for having me on the show. I'll definitely come back again. And next time he's come up here, I'll have to take us out catching snakes.
I'm sure my wife Lisa will be in that too, brother.
Yeah, tell her I'll teach you how to look after them.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, thanks again, man. Cheers, appreciate it. See you, Zach.
Yeah,
oh, well, there you go, Jack. You got a definitive answer.
I knew that was coming, brother. Don't worry about
that. Tell Belle that that's not on. So
yeah, that's not on, brother. Yeah.
Yeah, but
now listen, we got Jan Hogan said horses for courses. I didn't realise I loved swimming and dance until I left school. And there was too few opportunities for diversity in school. Sports were competitive and traditional netball, hockey for girls, and the dreaded dance drama. Spent most of the time avoiding PE due to the way it was taught. Need to tap into the individual interests of young people and that family and sports for life ethos you talk about, John. So important. Yeah, and look, that is so important. And I think JB there is giving kids that opportunity to have that ownership over, some of the things that they are doing. And, what better way, as he said, like with the diversity, not just of young our young kids, but all different mobs there, and being able to have something that's in common for them to be able to enjoy. CJ.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And I think that look, you've been to Mount Isa, I've been to Mount Isa, and if this wasn't there wouldn't be anything at all, really. For those young kids, especially those disenfranchised kids, those kids that come from a different socio-economic sort of status, especially our Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander kids out that way, and to have the opportunity to do that, and like he said at the beginning, he was driving around, yarning the young workout, so he's been very proactive with it, and sometimes you just can't you just can't wait for them to come. You know what I mean? It's really about going out and having a yarn, making them feel comfortable enough to be able to say, yeah, I'm going to go and do this. And with his profile as well, and I don't know whether young blokes know who he is really. They don't know
Yeah,
that.
absolutely, and they'd get the shock of their lives when they do find out too, brother. So,
That's
but
right.
but as you say, brother, I mean, it's about sometimes you do have to be proactive, and especially when you're working for yourself and you need to have to get out there and get your name seen to and heard to, so that people realise what you are doing. You know what I mean? So.
Absolutely, yeah. I should say that there was one bloke out there, Paul Slater, his name was, and he had a boxing gym set up, and I think he worked for Sport and Rec, but he was doing this boxing gym outside of that, and I think that I don't know whether he was still going, but I know when John Doyle turned up, they got together, and I suppose this is where his gym came from. I suppose I think that was it. Um, so that provides an opportunity, and I just can't believe that like those elite athletes he talks about, from all different disciplines of sport, have now got someone living in Mount Isa who can, take on that training for them because they would only have to do that by themselves or wait till they get down to, wherever they compete to do the training. So it's great. I think he's doing a great job doing that sort of stuff as well. So and not only that, but those elite athletes have become kind of like the role models for these young
That's
blokes.
right. Absolutely, and look, you're spot on with what you're saying, CJ, because as you say, I mean, if those athletes don't have John, well, then they've got to do it on their own, and we all know how hard it is to be able to train and keep that focus and keep that willpower, I suppose, to train on your own. So it is really important to have that there, and then, as you say, I mean, to be able to then use them as role models for some of the younger ones is such a magnificent thing to be able to do. So
Yeah, and I'm so like, and also an outlet for COVID as well. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when stuck doing nothing, kids weren't able to go running around on the playgrounds or play fields or whatever, during lunch or before or after school, and just having that to go to, and just like he said, just burn a bit of that anxiety out and get rid of some of that, those, all that tension that built up through.
absolutely,
And it's kind of great, and I think that's where when he talked about the different cultures and different people, age groups, and all that sort of stuff, genders coming in there, doing that, you actually come back to square one, wouldn't you? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Then forth, and all of a sudden you're all the same. You know what I mean? It's kind of like just levels the playing field for everyone.
and I think CJ, as John said too, I mean, it really is a level playing field when you walk into that gym. You know what I mean? So everyone's at the same level, or and it does give everyone the opportunity to be able to show their wares, I suppose. So
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, but he's a nice bloke. Nice bloke. He's very committed, like you say. He's very motivated, and he's been doing it all his life. And good luck to him, I think, and all the best to him.
oh, absolutely,
We'll catch up with him when we get up to Mount Isa, mate. Next
yep,
time. But he's made the most of what he's learned over the years playing. Top level as a national sportsman. So I think that what he's doing there is actually sharing that as well with that community. So yeah, definitely. I actually ran into a young bloke when I was out there before John actually moved out there actually, and he was real quick. It was very quick. This young bloke. I think his name was something like Johnson, and he ran like near the tens, I suppose, for the
yeah,
100.
yeah.
And he went to Townsville, or I think the story goes, he tells me that he went to Townsville to compete, and they couldn't believe how fast this bloke was. So there are kids, and I remember having this conversation years ago with. He was the what do you call it, the director of the 2000 Suncorp games, which is the up in.
Oh yeah.
Um, he he came to me about doing some stuff around creating some sport up in the communities. You know what I mean? So because we can know that kids up there are doing somersaults, standing still, running fast, jumping, all that sort of stuff. And they get to a certain age and they stop doing that and doing other things that probably not good for their health.
Yeah.
But you can tell, where those kids that are out there like that, because you see them in NRL, you see them in the AFL jumping, and they're just
Yeah, absolutely.
you know what I mean. And I know we've had the likes of Kathy Freeman in athletics.
Yep.
Had uh, what's his name, Johnson as well.
Patrick Johnson and
As well,
we also had Kyle Vanderkuip
Kyle
and
Vander
Nova Paris and
Nova Paris. That's right. So we need to look at where we're going to get these next group of young people coming through in the
yeah,
athletics.
absolutely.
Just running and jumping and throwing and all that sort of stuff. It's I think they're out there, and it just needs people like John to draw that talent out, start to edge them.
Well, I think you're spot on, CJ. And I mean, like if you look at the AFL, I mean, 11% of the players are now Aboriginal and or Torres Strait Islander. So that's 11% of the playing population. So it's fairly massive. Seeing that, I suppose we're only 3% of the population. So it's pretty good stats to have those sort of, those sort of numbers. You know what I mean? So.
Considering we're only like 2 or 3% of the total population of Australia.
Yeah.
Pretty big, that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Now, look. I think we need to give a bit of a shout out to all the people in Melbourne. I think they're at stage 4 now, lockdown, CJ. So some of them can't leave their own postcodes. So look, we're thinking of you, mob down there, all of you. Hope it rights itself soon. And just keep an eye on everyone that and everyone that might be a little bit vulnerable at this stage, and just ask people how they're going, and especially those ones that are living on their own, CJ. So
just check in with people. That's all it takes is just to say hello, how you going. But yeah, definitely stay safe. Stay, do all the social distancing stuff. I think that there's not only police, but I believe the army's been brought in as well to ensure the spread of this virus doesn't happen. So certainly take care of yourselves. And we feel really, so disappointing. I mean, it's 6 weeks lockdown is massive, and I think anywhere, like I think they did something like that in Italy, didn't they? The whole country shut down for a long time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Tanya Magro from Melbourne, she just said she's staying home. So yeah, look, I mean, I think that's it's probably the best thing to do. But look, we do have to realise that like people that are living on their own are probably more susceptible to to mental health issues as well. So we do need to keep an eye on all those people as well. So
definitely.
So we are all we're thinking of you all down there. I mean, it's horrible. I mean, and we just hope that it's after the 6 weeks, it's all back to normal. So because like even all their AFL sides are all moved out, so they're all up there with us, CJ. So
there's a couple of teams over WA, I think, but
no, there is, brother. The Geelong and Collingwood are over there. So
but I'd say to people down in Melbourne, like when we had the lockdown here, it's important that you spend some time for yourself as well. And if you can get out and go for a walk, get out and go for that walk, even if it's there in the backyard, or just don't get stuck inside all the time, I suppose. And if you are inside, think about some things that you can do, I suppose, to spend your time. Whether it's if you like reading, read a book. If you haven't read for ages, pick one up. That's what we did here. We started.
Absolutely.
We started some cooking, I suppose. We started baking things and trying.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's right, CJ. And like people know what's good for them to reconnect, to ground themselves as well. And like meditation is another great way of being able to just reground yourself, I suppose, because these are certainly hard times. So so we all are thinking of you. So we've got Jan Hogan say, can we get a tour of the bus, JB? Probably not tonight because I'm on the laptop top, and it'll be a bit hard to carry that around. So, and Tanya Mago said they've done almost 2 weeks already. So, okay. So Tanya's probably putting a bit of a positive spin on it. We've done 2 weeks, only got 4 weeks to go, I suppose.
That's it.
And she also said we've been doing video chats. So so another great way of being able to stay in contact with people. So and people, and I suppose one of the good things out of COVID-19 has come, that people are really comfortable now with video chats and those sort of things, FaceTime and Zooms and all those.
Yeah.
So some good things have come out of COVID-19.
Yeah, some new things, haven't there? Like the new answers and that. This whole thing, what we're doing, JB, is really come out of COVID as well, and just reconnecting, getting into the the living rooms of the people down in Melbourne or in Victoria and up in the Northern Territory and that sort of stuff. So we where you think you're stuck inside your home, in wherever you live, you can always have that little bit of escape by logging in and checking in with us on a Monday and Friday and other well. So
and that's right, CJ, and seriously, that's why we did first set it up, and it was probably a little bit for us as well to be able to, so that we could have those yarns and reconnect with people, because we do love, both of us do love working in communities very much. So, and we were certainly missing that, CJ. So look, it has been good.
It has been good, and look, it continues to be good as we move forward, I suppose. And it's always been well. This was it was learnt by bloody, I don't know, mate. It was really fly by the seat of our pants type of stuff, and work out how we do it and what we're going to do. And
we're still learning, brother.
Still learning, yeah. But I know that we can connect anywhere we are, wherever we are. You're at Condol.
Absolutely.
Yeah, where are you, Condol?
And Condobolin. So and look, you're spot on, CJ. I mean, this is the beauty of this, is that wherever we are, we're able to connect and still have those yarns, So it's amazing stuff, I think. So probably not amazing to some other people, but
well, we've managed to connect to people like tonight. It was Mount Isa. I think the other night was in Darwin. Then over to Towns.
Yep.
Over to Wales.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Now, Tanya Magro said we have to wear masks now outdoors from Thursday. So, so like getting pretty serious down there. Everyone's got to wear masks and not allowed to leave your postcode. So, makes it pretty hard, eh? And
yeah, I guess so, mate. That's the medical advice, I suppose, and that's what they're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess that we just need to comply with that, and get on with what we need to do. But wear the mask, social distancing, only go out for those essential stuff. Go to the supermarket, medical appointments, all that sort of stuff. I think it's important that
the essentials. No, definitely, CJ, and I think look, as we keep saying, brother, we can get through this together, and like everyone else can now support Melbourne, people of Melbourne, and get behind them, and let's come through it together, and because we don't want this hanging around for too much longer. And as you say, if we can comply to what's been advised to us, I think that's going to go a long way to being able to help us come through this. So so I think it's really important, CJ.
Mate, I think they reported one case here in Queensland today, so which we haven't done for some time. So I don't know. Obviously, they would be in isolation and all that sort of stuff. Now, tell me something, bud. Now, when you come back, you've got to go into isolation for 2 weeks or what?
No, brother, no.
You good? Oh, good on you. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I did find out though, CJ. We're supposed to be in Darwin in a few weeks' time, and they've actually changed their and someone might be able to help me out here, but they've actually changed their laws again now. That if you do go up there, you have to do the 2 weeks in isolation. So they've quickly changed theirs in relation to what's happened in Victoria. So
Yeah, definitely. So
yeah, and that's for anyone entering Darwin or
you
NT.
earlier.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be going, brother.
Yeah.
Not if it's like that. I mean, it wouldn't be bad, would it? Yeah. So
Oh no, mate. Yeah, but yeah, well, that's true. I actually looked at some flights. I think I said to you, there's some cheap flights to Darwin. Been advertised lately. We're on Jetstar, but and I did see.
that's why. So,
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, so
yeah.
yeah, I guess you can't get up there. No, that's right, mate. But anyway, look, it is what it is, I suppose. And that's
Oh,
that.
that's right. I mean, look, look as we keep saying, brother. I mean, look, we can all come through this together. I mean, let's just stick by Melbourne Mob and help them get through it, and we'll be a better place for it. I think so.
Yeah,
We've got a
definitely.
couple more people we just need to say g'day to. We've got Laura Roma's watching. G'day, Laura. Carly Atkinson's watching. G'day, Carly. How are you?
Yeah,
Paula McTaxis is watching. G'day, Paula. And Tanya Magro said, I enjoy watching. Thank you. And Jan Hogan, been some great online well-being events too on Facebook. Happy to share if it helps someone at home. Yeah, we'd love that, Jan.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So share some of that with us.
yeah,
We've got
yeah.
Jenny Wood watching in Canberra. G'day, Jenny. And she said, G'day, guys. Bit late today. I was helping Mum cook tea. Oh,
Yeah.
good on you. That's
And
good work.
watch the rest of the show back here or over on our YouTube channel. So yeah, do that.
Yeah. Please have a look at our YouTube channel. We'll put that up again, and there's plenty of online chats on there, CJ.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah. No. So listen, mate. The rest of your weeks look like it's going to be travelling around doing your work. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely, brother. Absolutely. We'll be back either Friday or Saturday. So
Oh,
we've got 5 more communities after this. As I think I said to you before, we've got Cobar, we've got Brewarrina, Burke, Walgett, and sorry, Cobar. Yeah, Lisa just yelling out to me. So yeah, so we've got another 5 after this. So we're looking forward to catching up with Mob.
yeah.
And Chrissy Lee just said, Carly said, good messages here, brothers. Yeah, thanks, Carly. And Chris Lee said, nah, only if you come from Victoria and now maybe New South Wales.
Oh, to Darwin.
So, yeah, so Darwin. So maybe that's right.
Maybe.
Canberra might be in lockdown soon because of Bateman's Bay outbreak.
Yeah. So whatever you
Okay.
do, tell them you didn't go to New South Wales.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever you do, because that's what's going to happen. But yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, no, that's it, mate. I mean, look, that's tell us again what you're doing out there, because it's important, I suppose, the work that you do.
Yeah, look, it really is. I mean, it's we're lucky enough to be involved in it. We're running some focus groups or yarning circles and doing some interviews with people involved with the national suicide strategy trial evaluation. So we're just looking at what's been working, what hasn't been working in terms of the suicide prevention trial. So and look, we've learned a whole heap out here. And other places we've spoken to about some of the really great programs for suicide prevention that are running. So yeah, look, it's really worthwhile, and it's something that's really close to our hearts as well. So yeah, look, we're really glad to be involved in it, and already we've heard some amazing stories, and just some of those stories are just amazing to hear, and the resilience of our people never ceases to amaze us, CJ.
Yeah, no, definitely, mate. Yeah, and I know that they're talking about it, and I know they've been talking about it for a little while now. Coming out of COVID and mental health issues that obviously have been sort of have risen, I guess, with the lockdowns, and now, of course, with loss of employment, maybe, or not feeling well, all that sort of stuff. A whole range of things, may have sort of presented themselves during COVID time. So they say coming out of COVID, it'll be all hands on deck in terms of trying to make sure our community's social and emotional well-being is
Yeah.
and once again be as resilient as it always has been. So.
Absolutely, brother. Yeah, well said. Look, I think I think you're spot on there. I mean, and it is going to take us all of us working together to be able to get through this. So yeah, don't be shy if you think someone needs to. If you think someone needs a shout out or a hand out, whatever it is, make sure you do it and make sure you get on board with that and just say hello. Just say how are you? Are you okay? Whatever it may be. But yeah, look, it needs to be done, brother.
Yeah, no, that's good, Bunch. Yeah. No, well, listen, you take care on your travels and all that sort of stuff. Make sure Lisa doesn't find any snakes.
Yeah,
Jeez, you'll be dreaming about snakes tonight.
yeah, she will be, brother. Yeah.
Don't get to sleep. And I look forward to catching up to you probably on Friday afternoon. You said you might be back Saturday, so I don't know where you'll come in from. I'm sure that we'll catch up and
Well, we're gonna catch up for dinner, brother.
that's right, we do too. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely we do. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right then. Well, look, mate.
All right.
Good, a good yarn today. Good check in with the lad up there. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, no, really good.
Isn't it good to know that there are fellas like that? Everyone that we've spoken to, isn't it gives you some comfort, I suppose, and confidence that they're there. You know what I mean? And they're doing the job.
There's beautiful people out there, brother, and there's no doubt about that. And they're amazing people, and they do it for community, and they do it for the love of a community. So I think it's fantastic, brother.
And they show the strength to be able to come on and have a yarn about who they are and what they do. It just amazed me. It's just we're doing quite a lot during these weeks that we've been doing this, and every one of them have been amazing, awesome, inspiring. A whole range of different words. I'll probably run out of words to describe that.
That's right. Couldn't agree anymore, brother.
Hey?
Couldn't agree anymore.
Yeah, I know. It's fantastic. But, stick with us. We'll be back on Friday, 4:30.
Yep.
Jack will be coming.
We'll have another guest for us on Friday.
Probably Cobar, I would imagine, if it's
hey, you never know. We might have someone come on from down here. So let's wait and see, eh?
I'll leave that in your hands, mate.
No worries, brother.
All right.
Over and out, everyone. Thanks for joining.
Good night, guys. Have a good one. Have a good week.